Oh, this your boy Jaystar back again, man, with the full slate strategy video, man. Like I told y'all what I did with the showdown video, I'm very strategic. I have so many stats, notes, and everything that I put together for you all y'all, man, to be able to use to, make the right stacks, like like I told you before, I don't want you to go in picking a quarterback with the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like I hate doing that myself, but we're gonna go with the best, basically the best possible options, for them to stack, or if it's just a running back and it's just supposed to be them to go off, then I'm just kind of talking about just the running back basically. But I just want to give y'all, all the best possible options for the whole slate, so that way you're picking somebody that was definitely fantasy wise was supposed to do good. You know what I mean? Because if they just don't do good, then so be it. They just had a rough day, we're gonna have those days. But the only thing is you do want to make sure that you at least pick somebody that was supposed to deliver, the highest fantasy points in each game, period. Like I said, if you got a hunch on somebody, you don't want to have the hunch that, and he does good, that quarterback does good, but the freaking receiver, tight end, running back, whatever you stack him with, it's not supposed to the person, it's not supposed to be the person that does good in that game. I don't want y'all stacking that person. You know what I mean? Like if that person ends up somehow just doing good, then so be it. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to give y'all, the best option wise because of defense, that they're going against, things like that, and how the style of offense, the offensive scheme that team plays, things like that. So we're gonna get right into it since some of these, injury updates have been updated a little bit. I'm gonna still just go off of, if some people are still questionable and things like that, I'm just gonna still tell you if that's the player that's supposed to be good or not, So like also then that means, if that person's kind of supposed to do good, then maybe if he doesn't end up playing, then his backup should do good. So you can just go roll with it like that. But let's go ahead and get into this slate. It's 13 games, so I'm gonna try to go through this as fast as I possibly can, since I already kind of had the notes of who's kind of supposed to do good and stuff like that, and matchups and things. So I'm probably going to be going through these real quick. So y'all can go ahead and write them down or whatever, like if you need to, or just replay this video back, if you missed something, But it's your boy Jaystar. Let's get into it. So we have the first game right here on the slate. It's Philly and Detroit. So I'm going to lock that in. So I'm going to start with the Philly side. Philly side so far, Detroit, basically defense is very, very poor. Against the rush, against the pass, they really don't have nothing to be able to stop, really, against Philly. So they have no... I went through the defense completely, y'all, and I just don't see nobody that's an elite weapon, period, on defense. So basically, though, since Philly, last year, Philly was a Devonte Smith and Dallas Goedert team. That was their weapons, that their offensive scheme was styled upon. Like they put everything was first and two. Like, 1 and 2 right here was the options for every pass play, period. So now we got to throw in AJ Brown though. So I expect AJ Brown to be number 1 now, really, for this passing game for their style of play now. Like I said, they was the leading rushing team. So I still expect there to be some rushing. So it could. Miles Sanders looked like he's good to go, which I'm happy to hear that because I was already liking Miles Sanders. So he's definitely in a great situation. I believe this is going to be a lot of scoring in this game. I definitely feel like for 5,400, he can definitely come through even with a 15 points, game, but also could possibly get 20. It's all on the board here for this game just because the Detroit defense is poor. AJ Brown, like I said, being the number 1 option, I believe he's a good person, to stack if you want to stack it with him, or if you got the hunch that that's gonna be Devonte Smith. It literally could be every receiver, really, as long as they're getting targets. The only thing though, I would say I would kind of steer away from Quez Watkins, just because I don't feel like he's going to have that many targets. So if I'm stacking, from this game, like I said, the 3 options at receiving or, weapons and stuff like that is Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, and then also Devonte Smith. But like I said, if you want to go ahead and run the running back in this game, you can definitely even do that if you just want to even just one off the running back. Also, though, we do know Jalen Hurts runs. So if the rush is there, then that, when you got a rushing quarterback too as well, then that means the rush is there for them. So they can get 5 extra fantasy points. He runs for 50 yards, 7 fantasy points if he runs for 7, and also he has the rushing ability to rush in the touchdown. So I definitely feel like those are the people that I would be stacking on that side. But let's go to the other side of this game, and we looking at Jared Goff. With Philly, last year, before they got CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't really know for sure if he's going to only play in the safety, because he used to be a slot corner. So if he was going to move to slot corner, it would kind of make me kind of steer off then of the St. Brown, because I know how good of CJ, Gardner-Johnson really was in the slot, and he was pretty good slot corner. So if he doesn't though, and he does stay out, which I'm trying to look at the depth chart real quick for y'all, so I can get this right, as possible, because since he did move over there, I haven't looked over there to see, or do they plan on playing him as a safety, or do they plan on playing him as slot corner, So let me just look real quick for y'all real quick. What is this? Eagles, Philly. Where y'all at in the depth chart here? Okay, here we go. Found them. Let's see now what we got here with the Eagles. Where y'all got CJ Gardner-Johnson? Oh, they got him at strong safety. So it's going to be a safety out there in the deep field. So, I mean, in the backfield, way in the back. So I know he's still kind of probably match up with St. Brown, but not as much as what I thought. So I would have to say St. Brown is definitely still a good option in this game. Also, I feel like people might be sleeping on DJ Chark. He has more of the harder matchup in this game, being that he's going to go against Slay and who are the other weapons I want to say that they got on defense? Bradbury. Yeah, Bradbury and all of them. So pretty good cornerbacks he's got to go against. But I do like the fact that DJ Chark is about like 6'4", I believe, receiver. And I just know if you go look at DJ Chark just real quick, I mean, my bad, I don't mean to slide down that so much, but like what I notice about him is that it don't take much for him to get a lot of yards. And one thing I do know too, most of the time when Chark actually like got a catch and it's a deep catch, he was scoring. So like I said, you see both of these games out of the 3, he got to a touchdown, on each one, and barely had any receptions, 3 receptions. So I just don't want y'all to sleep on him. I definitely think he's a good option to go with Goff too as well in this game, even though his matchup is probably one of the hardest ones. But I do know he has a height advantage and he can get past, cornerbacks. And I do know he can probably moss somebody. And like I said, when he catches big catches and stuff like that for like 40 or 50 yards, he's most of the time it's like a touchdown yard. He breaking probably the tackle and going for the touchdown. So I don't want y'all to sleep on DJ Chark. As a receiving option to go with Goff. St. Brown is definitely his, go-to valve. He gonna go to him for sure. Third down plays, looking for him across the middle. And that is something where the Eagles did give up. But the biggest thing that they gave up is tight end. So the best option to pick with Goff is Hockenson by far. So when it comes to running back too as well though, only because Swift is a pass catching back. And I know he's probably going to come out the middle, come out and right into the curl and middle of the field. And since, like I said, they already kind of giving up the slot, they're giving up the tight end, they're giving up the middle of the field. If Swift is going to curl out like that, then he's definitely going to be in play too as well for Goff. So definitely if you're looking to stack Goff, those are the options that I would stack him with. Or if you're looking to run back, those are the options that I would look to run back in that game. So let's move on to the next game though. We got Baltimore and the Jets here. And I'm really sad about this game because the Dobbins situation here, I don't know for sure if he's going to be ready. He said he was going to be ready to go, a month ago. And now I'm like questioning on this, but he is in one of the greatest spots, man, like when it comes to fantasy, man. And like, I would love to be able to just, load him up in the lineup, man, with ease. Like, because I just see easily first game, 20 points fantasy. And for 5,600, that would be so amazing for me to just lock that in, like almost all my lineups, really. Like if I just knew he was just healthy and ready to go, like for real. But besides that, knowing that Lamar is bulked up, ready to run, Lamar is in a great situation to take over that Russian attack then, like for real. So Lamar, to me, it's like he's in a situation where he's a good skinny stack because his receiving options in this game aren't really the most, amazing options, but they do have amazing potential to go off since the Jets were pretty bad against the pass last year. They already was high in fantasy points, believe like top 6 at least in fantasy points to quarterbacks. But against the pass, I believe they're, about top 20 or something like that against receivers, something like that. But at tight end, they definitely was in the top like 6 or 10 or something like that, I believe, at tight end. So, no, I believe it's top 5, matter of fact, in fantasy points at tight end. So, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson stacks, put them in because, he's got probably one of the most obvious skinny stacks that's just supposed to both go off. Like I said, if Dobbins does not play, the running game, like I don't really know who to really go with. Kenyon Drake is okay, but I don't know if I would just slide off to him really. But I think I would just take that Lamar Jackson's going to be rushing most of the time. And then you talking about 100 yards is possible for Lamar Jackson to rush the ball, which that's going to be 10 points plus the 3 as well, the bonus. So you got 13 points already. And then I would just believe that if he rushed that many yards, he probably scored a touchdown too. So you talking about 20 points off just the rushing attack with Lamar Jackson, like I said. So, and then I'm just thinking he's definitely throwing the ball across the field to Andrews. I thought I mentioned this before, but the Jets, safeties and most of their cornerbacks are kind of short. I know he's probably not going to line up with cornerbacks really, but he is going to line up with those safeties. But most of them safeties in the backfield for the Jets are about 5'9", 5'10". Mark Andrews 6'6" and stuff like that. Come on now. Like, this is like a 30 fantasy point with Lamar scoring 30 fantasy point game for that side. But let's go to the other side real quick of this game. And, oh, my bad. I didn't go over none of the weapons for the receivers, but I'll take some of the weapons. Like, let's go over some of the weapons. So just so I don't miss out on them. But we have Bateman, I believe. Who else is playing over here? Duvernay's going to be in the slot. Robinson's going to be in and out with Prochet or whatever. So, I mean, if I had to take a shot on any receiver, I would just go with Robinson, really, to be real with y'all. Just because he's a deep threat. And I know, he kind of reminds me of the type of player that Marquis Brown was for them. And he's more experienced of a player. And I feel like if he gets in there, he's going to make the most out of it. And all I think about is that maybe one shot for him, could be a 40-yard touchdown. You already got the points. That's how I think about. Like, if I'm picking all these other receivers, I'm banking on them to have multiple opportunities, for Bateman. Maybe he does get 8, targets and stuff like that. But I just know that Robinson could probably hit on 2. So that's on that side. That's what I would be looking at. Like, on this side for this game, so Zach Wilson is out now. We got to roll with Flacco on this side. So Flacco, man. So let's see what we got here. What I know for the Jets going against the Baltimore. Last year, Baltimore, yeah, you could have thrown with the receivers. You could have went to almost every receiver because they was hurt with, what I want to say, the cornerbacks was all hurt last year. So that messed them up so bad because they literally gave up the most in the league passing yards. So, I'm sure people, if you thinking that that's going to happen again, don't think that because they actually have their cornerbacks back now, and I do expect them to be a harder team to pass on like that. But I do know that since they have who are their cornerbacks again? Let me go back over there. Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey is back healthy, but at the slot is where you're gonna have to attack them. So on this side of the game, I would say slot and tight end is where you got to attack Baltimore. They always been a team that they gave up the tight end. So if you wanted to take a tight end over here, you got great tight ends over here, Uzama and Conklin. Like, you can roll with either one. I don't really know which one is. I feel like they probably gonna run double tight ends sometimes, just because their receiver game is not really proven. They have a lot of young people. Elijah Moore is on his second year. Corey Davis is not young. Been in the league for a while. Hasn't really proven anything though. So, but Garrett Wilson, I feel like he's playing the slot over here. I feel like he can excel there, being in the slot like that. I feel like a lot of young receivers should always start in the slot because you usually get the weaker, the talent at cornerback and stuff like that. So I definitely feel like if you wanted to stack him with Garrett Wilson, nice little stack, but also you have the 2 tight ends. And Flacco's came from a system in Baltimore where they always had good tight ends. And Mark Andrews, they had a lot of tight ends. Boyle's been there for a long time. So he's probably going to throw to these tight ends for sure. I feel like this is going to be a safety valve for him. I feel like, if he doesn't have this rookie and Garrett Wilson open, then he'll probably be going there. At running back, you got Breece Hall. Yeah, he can definitely, if he can catch, which I haven't seen if for sure he can do a lot of catching, but I feel like they'll probably be down in this game, and you'll probably want to catch him back if he was to run back that way. But so let's keep it moving, though. We got through that game. Let's go to the New Orleans and Atlanta game. I know a lot of people been waiting for me to talk about this game. I've been getting comments galore about Jameis Winston because I did not put him on my top 5. No, I did not put him on my top 5. I'm sorry, y'all. He is definitely a good quarterback, though. Like, he's definitely a good quarterback, okay? So I said it. Y'all heard it from me, so you can go ahead and plug him in. But if you're going to plug him in, Kamara is definitely going to be a good pick in this game. That was one of the things that Atlanta gave up. Running back, pass catching running back, he's both of those things. So definitely Kamara. Michael Thomas, if he's ready to go, should be in play. The best play, though, for this game, though, is Jarvis Landry. He has the best matchup. So if you was to go ahead and stack Jamie, you need to be stacking him with Landry. Also, third receiver option in Olave. Decent matchup. Sorry for the noise in the background, y'all. Motorcycle going by. But Yeah, Chris Olave is definitely still a good matchup. At tight end, they don't really have a tight end. So I'm not really taking their tight end, Trotman, and also who was it? Oh, it's funny. They don't even have Taysom Hill in the tight end spot, but he's a tight end, which is gonna be really weird because I feel like one of these weekends somebody's gonna take Taysom Hill and at quarterback, and he's gonna get 20 fantasy points at tight end when the tight end matchup is great. I don't really know. It could happen in this game really because they wasn't really that great against the tight end in Atlanta, but I mean, who's going to take him first week? I don't really see nobody really taking him when he's already at the start of the season. He is the backup tight end to Trotman. So, but like I said, the receiving options, you can go with Michael Thomas if you want still, but Jarvis Landry has the best matchup. So if you were stacking, that's where I would go on that side of the field. But the other side of the field, we have Mariota. Mariota, for his side, I mean, to attack the Saints defense, you're going to have to pass catch running back. Got to dump it to your running back, because they have a tough defense, but they did just lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the slot, so it kind of opened up the slot. The only thing is their slot is a chaos. I wish it was a better slot. Like this team was literally one weapon, from being an elite freaking offensive team, really, to tell you the truth. Like Calvin really was not suspended. This would be even a better game when it comes to shootouts and things like that. But since they really, I don't know, they could take advantage of it a little bit. Zacchaeus is not a bad option, but he is the best, has the best matchup so far. Drake London could, if he doesn't line up with Lattimore sometimes, the other side of the field I feel like is a better option for him. So he could still have a decent game. But Bryan Edwards is actually probably in a better situation on that side of the field where he's going to be lined up most of the time. But by far, it's probably Kyle Pitts. Even though in the backfield where he has to go against is going to be the Honey Badger. Honey Badger is still like 5'9", Kyle Pitts like 6'6", 6'7" or some shit. Like my bad. But yeah, like he's tall, man. He's just out there, tall, athletic. But the thing is about Kyle Pitts, what I would want to say is that I really want to see him go across, like, more, stop going so deep all the time, playing as like he's a number one receiver. Because last year, I get it though, like he literally was their only option really. So there was no Calvin really last year. So he was like their number one receiver. So they lined him out wide, or they just always sent him out towards the double coverage. I would love to see him just become a regular tight end. The tight ends that we see just like Kelsey, just go out to the 10, go out to the 5, turn around, catch the ball, and turn that into 15 yards, Because if he does that, you talking about he could be the best tight end in the league, by far. Like he's going to probably get 12 to 15 touches in certain games, like serious. So he already, like I said, he has a pretty advantage here if he goes deep in this game though, just because he has the Honey Badger, but the Honey Badger is short. The other safety on the team is short too as well, and so he has a chance to jump over them, or just you just catch it high, And if Mariota is going to be looking for him, which I think he is going to be looking for him a lot, but like I said, as well as he does have Drake London, who also is about 6'4", 6'5", or something like that. So he has a lot of tall options here. Even Edwards is tall. The shortest person is Zacchaeus, and it sucks because he has the best matchup. So you can't take a shot there. $4,000 is pretty cheap. If he scores a touchdown with that, then you're in the game for that much money. But that's all the size. I mean, the best weapons that I would say, to run over here, it's got to be Kyle Pitts, Zacchaeus, and then we got Cordell Patterson. So let's move on from that game now that we already did all of that. Let's go to the New England and the Miami game. Okay, so for this game, according to my notes, let's see. What do I have here for this game? New England. I got Dolphins, okay. And the Patriots. Where are y'all at on my notes real quick, y'all? Man, I don't know why I can't find them. Should have had this better. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Let's get it. So, for the Patriots side, I'm going to start with their side first. Mac Jones, of course. If you're taking Mac Jones, he's going against a really good defense here. So, I do feel that they're probably going to be doing some dump plays. They don't have James White anymore. So, I don't know if it's going to be Stevenson, because Damian Harris is more of just a rush attack. But I believe, third down back is Stevenson. They really like Stevenson. I feel like he is going to be probably dumping it off that way to him. He's going to have to, because the Dolphins defense, is very tough. So, yes, he has Devonte Parker now. Devonte Parker is going against one of the best cornerbacks. So, I don't really feel like he will have Devonte Parker too much. Even though there's somebody that he's familiar with, I really feel like that, the cornerback, I think is Xavier Howard or whatever. So I think he's going to try to shut him down as much as possible. Myers is actually, I believe, has the best opportunity to play good. He's going against one of the the weaker matchup in this game, at least. Like I said, but the Dolphins defense is tough. Bourne is probably not in a good matchup either. The cornerback on out wide with him is really good. So Myers is his best option. Heard a lot of people talking about they want Hunter Henry. A lot of people coming at me about Hunter Henry. And yes, Hunter Henry can do decent, in this game. They are going to need to probably pass in this game. So Hunter Henry is in play for a touchdown. He is, I know for sure though, he is their red zone, like I believe number one option for the red zone after Damian Harris though. So it would be him next, and so definitely you can think that he can get maybe a thrown touchdown his way or something like that. But also watch out because they do like to just throw in Jonnu Smith too randomly. So, and then I just don't know. I remember the old Hunter Henry. I used to love Hunter Henry. So don't think that I did not like this dude. I remember how good he was and everything. I haven't really seen that Hunter Henry no more. I thought he was going to be one of the best tight ends at that time too when he was balling like that. But I don't know if he really has it in him in this game. I just feel like this is a tough defense, period. It could be an ugly game for the New England Patriots, real talk. So, but let's go to the other side of the game. Tua. His side of the game. So we have, who was it? Okay. We have Waddle. Waddle's in the best matchup. Long as he's ready to go and ready to play, he has the best matchup in this game. But also, I know people are usually scared to, go against New England and taking options, the best option, because they usually shut it down. They double cover him the whole game. They don't have J.C. Jackson anymore, though. And I don't know if y'all realize how big of a deal that is, but he was the number 2 cornerback in the league when it comes to stats. So you couldn't even throw the ball his way. He intercepted second in the league. I believe he had the most pat downs and deflection and stuff like that in the league, though. So definitely without him, though, I do expect Tyreek Hill to be able to get off. It's just about how many targets is he going to receive on his first game with Tua and how much chemistry are they going to have. But like I said, the best actual option in this game is Waddle. So also Cedric Wilson, probably not in the best scenario for him, but he could probably get open if they distract, and they double cover these two. Because usually when you do play the Patriots, the best receiver to take is the third receiver. So I would not mind still taking a shot at Cedric Wilson, but the type of offense that the Dolphins do run is going to be heavy on trying to do crossing routes. And Cedric Wilson wasn't really a crossing route type of receiver. Waddle and Tyreek Hill are. So I would definitely say those are the two that I would say is going to have the elite fantasy option to take, fantasy options to take with Tua. As well as Edmonds. New England did give up the run, so I could say like Mostert could get a goal line rush in touchdown, but they are planning on starting Edmonds, and Edmonds will be a part of the rush, in the second down 2 play, and he can catch 2 as well. And New England does kind of give up running backs, if you end up running a lot, which I do feel like since this the Miami took over, the 49ers old coach, in McDaniels. So I do feel like they're going to run a lot, and they probably will run with the receivers as well, like they do with Debo over there in the 49ers. So that's the only reason why I kind of like is scared to take Tua, is because I know that Tyreek or Waddle could end up being a part of a rushing game and they could get rushing touchdowns, and that takes away, and then Tua could have a 1 touchdown game. Also, if you're thinking about taking Gesicki, just notice he's been up, since, like I said, they're running a 49ers offense, y'all. If you think about the 49ers offense, Kittle is never really a good play to take unless it's probably a team that's really sorry against the tight end. This team is not sorry against tight ends. And also, since, like I said, Kittle is usually not a good play to take all the time because he does a lot of blocking. And that's exactly what they got Gesicki doing now. So I don't really like Gesicki if you're stacking with Tua. I definitely, like I said, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, even if you want to take a shot at Cedric Wilson, but those two probably are in the best situation, as well as Edmonds. So we're going to move it on to the next game here. Got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati Bengals. And we're going to start off with Burrow. Burrow's options here in this game is definitely Joe Mixon has one of the best what I want to say fantasy could happen for him, because Pittsburgh was pretty bad last year against the run, like one of the worst teams against the run. They gave up, I believe, the most rushing yards, period. And also they're bad. It was bad at tackling, just running back too. So I would definitely say Mixon is a great person if you wanted to stack that way with a running back, and then you want to hit a receiver with that. Receiver options in this game, I believe it's supposed to be, let me make sure, I just don't want to get that wrong, because it's supposed to be Boyd. It's actually supposed to be Boyd. I know that's not the most greatest option, most, flashiest option, but it's actually supposed to be Boyd. He has the best matchup. The only thing I will say is the Bengals have already talked about moving Chase around into the slot more to get him more opportunities and, mismatch situation, because he is a way better receiver than Boyd, like by far. We know what Chase can do compared to what Boyd has done. He's kind of mediocre when it comes to slot receivers, So I still would say Chase is probably the best weapon then, because of the fact that we know he's going to move in or out. T. Higgins is probably not in the best situation, but can still do good. So you can take a shot that way if you want to. But like I said, by far, Chase and Boyd is the main two. They do have Hurst now at tight end. And I don't believe, though, Pittsburgh was one of the teams for the tight end that's giving up the most fantasy points to that position. So I don't feel like Hurst is probably going to have the best game. If you want to take him, you can. He is kind of cheap, but he would probably at least need to get you a goal line touchdown or something to get you the value for his price and stuff like that. On the other side, though, of this game, like I told y'all, you know how much I hated Trubisky starting this game, y'all. Like, I've been saying it for a few videos already. I really wish it was Pickett. But since it is Trubisky, so be it. Like, we got to roll with it. Trubisky's best option in this game, if he dumped the ball to Harris 10 to 15 times or something like that, then Harris will be very much in play in this game. Because but Cincinnati was actually good against the run, but bad against pass catching backs. So if he's going to get, like I said, the first game that he played them last season was crazy. Like, you look at, I hate when this happens, because like when teams are bad against something and you know that the team has the talent, but they don't use them in the right way for him to succeed. I hate that, because like I said, 19 touches. 19 targets at least, caught 14 and went for 102 yards. Like I said, they're bad against pass catching backs. They're not bad against the run. As you see, they shut him down. If you look at the second time he played him, though, 8 touches in the run, which is really bad. Like, I don't even know why his touches were so low. But also, I look at the 5 targets. Like, why did his targets drop so much, in this game? Like, y'all know it succeeded the first time. You could have gave him at least 5 more targets. He probably goes off for another 80 yards or something like that. So he can definitely succeed if they are going to pass, catch to him. But if not, then go ahead and attack the passing game, because you have so many weapons here. And Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and George Pickens. The thing is, though, Claypool is supposed to have the best matchup, since he is going to play the slot for them. Deontay Johnson will probably be moving in or out with Claypool, though, so I definitely would say Deontay Johnson will be next up. It doesn't seem like George Pickens they'll be using much in the slot, because he didn't come from a system, in college where he was in the slot mostly. But he's still a good play since he's so cheap, I would say. But the best 2 matchups here will be Deontay Johnson and Claypool to run with Trubisky. And then Freiermuth definitely is in one of the best positions. Freiermuth has, could go off in this game for sure. So that's the stack if you was to roll with, Trubisky in this game. And let's keep it moving, y'all. The Colts and the Houston Texans here. So we got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan definitely first weapon is Jonathan Taylor. Like, has the best matchup here. If outside of him, though, there's the obvious matchup there. I mean, he could pass catch a touchdown to him as well. But the obvious matchup after that, I believe it is Michael Pittman. And yes, Michael Pittman. And then after that, it would be Campbell. So you can go with Paris Campbell, Michael Pittman. Until we see what this rookie Alec Pierce can really do out on the field, or how much they're going to target him, I wouldn't really take him yet. But I do know, I feel like this established receiver is Michael Pittman at number 1 at least. And he's probably going to get 8 to 10 or 11 targets maybe a game. And definitely he's going to have a lot of goal line targets this year. Hopefully he actually scores the touchdowns, though, because we didn't see enough of that last year and last season and everything. So, but Paris Campbell definitely has a good matchup in this game. At tight end, Mo Alley Cox, if you want to take a shot at him, you can. I really haven't seen much from Mo Alley Cox, so I don't really like taking him. But the other side of this game, Davis Mills is the quarterback. If I'm looking at that side of the game, I kind of feel like they're going to be down in this game. Yes, Burkhead is the pass catching back, is going to be the third down back in this game. But Dameon Pierce has won the job as a rookie, and this boy definitely can get it. Like, he can go off, man. He can get you those fantasy points. Like, that's what I mean by, like, he's gonna probably get it. I am definitely very high on him, even in this matchup. I know they was pretty good against the run, but I feel like he's probably gonna pass. You can probably pass catch to him, and he just has that shiftiness, man, to make people miss. And I feel like if you get him out with some, with a big hole, maybe opens up in this game, he's gonna be gone. And he'll make a person miss. If he catches and it's a screenplay, catches out wide or something and he has some field to go, man, he's going to make the dude miss. The first dude's probably going to miss every time. This dude is really that good. So for this value, I definitely love this play right here. Also at receivers, we all know Brandon Cooks is probably in the best position in this game, actually. I know he's going against, oh my God, what's his name? Man, why can't Gilmore? My bad. So Gilmore, I know he's going against Gilmore on one side. The other side of the field, and I believe if he moves inside to the slot in this game, he can definitely have a good game. But like I said, also if he just moves on to the other side of this game, he can have a good game. Their slot receiver on this team is going to be, who did I see it was? It's the Chris Moore. He's starting. So at $3,000, he's actually the person that's supposed to do good. He has a good matchup here. So at $3,000, if you wanted to stack a Mills, lineup with Mills, like Damian Pierce, like I said, Brandon Cooks if you want to, and also like I said though, for $3,000 you can go there. But the best actually matchup in this game for this side is Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan definitely has a great matchup. If you just wanted to run back somebody from this game, Brevin Jordan, he was a part of my top 5 tight ends list too as well, so you kind of already know that. But let's keep it moving in. We got Jacksonville and the Washington Commanders, and we're gonna start with the Jacksonville star, Trevor Lawrence. Pretty decent matchup for him. I would say if ETN is actually using the pass catching, part of this game and stuff like that, I feel like he can do very well against Washington. And if they use him, and I feel like if they use him at the goal line, the way like the Saints usually use Kamara for touchdowns and pass catching, running out the backfield, curling, coming across the field, he could probably catch you a touchdown in this game. So I do feel like he's a valuable option to go with, even Trevor Lawrence. For receiver options though, best option I believe in this game is Christian Kirk. He actually has the matchup. All the cornerbacks on Washington are pretty good now. They, before they know they used to be all bad, but they actually loaded up. Believe it's Kendall Fuller and somebody else. I can't remember the name right now, but they actually did load up on their out wide cornerback, so they're going to be better than what they was there. But in the inside, their slot corner is not good, and Christian Kirk will be there probably the whole game. I expect him to have a big fantasy day, so he's definitely the best receiver. I don't really think of any other receiver that I really want to go with Trevor Lawrence in this game, really, like Marvin Jones or Zay Jones, because their matchup isn't the best. But also at tight end, Evan Ingram has a good matchup too as well. So if you was thinking about stacking, like I gave you 3 people right there, Evan Ingram, ETN, as well as Christian Kirk to go with Trevor Lawrence. Let's run that back with the other way. Wentz, on the other hand, let's see. Gibson is definitely in a good situation now that we know that the rookie, James Robinson will. I mean, my bad. Brian Robinson will be out. He's probably going to, try to secure his starting position still that he used to, have for sure. But now he has somebody on his butt, that's trying to take over. So, but Gibson has always been a good goal line running back. So I definitely feel that in this game, I could see multiple scores for Washington and Gibson rushing in a touchdown. So he's definitely a good play. The other side of this game, McLaurin is in a great spot, has a good matchup in this game. I would say also, Dotson could do good too as well, since they both are the ones that's going to be out wide. In the middle is Curtis Samuel. He has a decent matchup too as well, but McLaurin just has the best matchup, and Dotson will probably get on that matchup as well. So for 3,400, I definitely feel like he's in play. If Logan Thomas was to play this game, he would be in a great position too. I hate though right now that it's showing that he might be not playing until week 2, because otherwise I would definitely be taking him. But since if he doesn't play, then then I won't, then I just won't even bother, and I will just try to look at the receiver options or toss in that running back, like I said. So we went through that game. Let's get to the next game here. San Francisco and Chicago. I know a lot of people are taking Fields. So being that he is in my division and everything, I'm not biased about Fields at all, but I do know the weaknesses of Chicago, and it is the sacks, man. The sacks, man. They just allow so much pressure to come to the quarterback, and it sucks that he is going to a all first round pick line, is what he's going against in this game with San Francisco, and also a pretty good linebacker as well. I feel like they're definitely going to get in and break through that line often. They did it the last year or two against him. Fields, I know when you look at Fields, everybody just looks at it what he did last year to San Francisco. And the only thing I want to say is the numbers he put up all came at the end of the game, in garbage time. And yes, garbage time it counts still. It counts for 29 fantasy, right? The only thing is I do worry, how much pressure will he get in this game? And how many mistakes may he make because of what was this? He made 2 fumbles, I believe, in that game too. San Francisco. Yeah, he got fumbled the ball twice and because he got sacked a lot. Like so. I just don't want him to force anything in this game. But I do feel that Fields kind of has accepted that he knows that his line is probably not going to be able to protect him. So I do feel that does benefit. I don't know if he knew that last year going into last season that he was going to be, getting pressured like that all the time. So I do feel that, he's definitely accepted that and he knows that's going to be coming, that pressure's going to be coming from him. I just, I hope he's practiced enough on moving out of that pocket and throwing accurate passes, with coverage being covered on your receivers, not just wide open receivers, because they're not going to be always just wide open. Because I will say, though, in this game, definitely San Francisco, their cornerbacks aren't really that great. So, like, they benefit, though, on having a strong front line, and they know they'll get pressure on you. And so they hope that you don't even get to, they played a 4-3 defense. So you need time in the pocket to let the play actually build up. So somebody like Mooney can be open downfield, because he is in a good situation here. He should be able to do good. If somehow, like I said, if Fields actually gets any time in the pocket, Mooney should open up for him. If not, he's going to probably have to dump it off to Pringle in the slot. And also a bigger target to look for is EQ St. Brown, like 6'5", 6'4" target right there. I believe he'll probably be looking for him, as well as he'll try to look for Kmet. Just Kmet is in a harder matchup here against 49ers. I would more think, like I said, if he can get Mooney the ball, if he can just run out the pocket, maybe create some more time for his receivers to get open, he definitely has that opportunity. Other than that, I kind of just see Fields kind of running, for his life, running for his life. Montgomery, I don't think he's going to be able to do much in this game unless he gets a lot of dumps. But like I said, Mooney, Pringle would probably be my best 2 options here. And also, like I said, St. Brown for 3K is not even a bad option to run with him as well. But for the other side of that game, Trey Lance, we know this game is going to be a running attack is what they do for San Francisco. They run so much. It's hard to take Trey Lance unless I see him rushing 2 touchdowns in, which Garoppolo did that last year against Chicago. But that's also Garoppolo's hometown, so he was performing crazy in front of his family. Like, his whole family was there in that stadium. So, like, he was doing extra. He never, rushes touchdowns. But I do see Trey Lance definitely being able to do that for them. As well as since you already know they're so run heavy, of an offense here. And when they come off of a play action set and and he just decides to just rush in the touchdown instead, like, he definitely has the speed. He's always kind of looking to rush. Besides that, Debo's in the best matchup. Best matchup in this game. So if I was stacking anybody, it would be Debo. Ayuk and Danny Gray is not starting. I believe Jennings is actually starting, but Danny Gray will be coming in for Jennings. So there could be some type of plays, where Danny comes in for a deep threat and could maybe hit on that. But by far, Debo's in the best scenario in this game. Kittle is not really in the best scenario in this game. Especially as long as Roquan Smith is going to be there and things like that to cover him. But also, Kittle is just always just a blocking tight end. And for 5,900, it's not worth it for this game. I'm sorry. But we're going to keep it moving here. Go on to Cleveland and Carolina. And let's get to the quarterbacks here. We have Baker Mayfield, who said he's going to F. No, I'm just playing. Like, he pulled back that comment. So we're not going to say he's going to do that. But I know we all got to know he's going to try his hardest, though, to beat the Cleveland Browns. And then we got Jacoby Brissett on the other side. So let's go through the best weapons for Baker Mayfield. Got a tough defense he's going against. So I would definitely see a lot of dumps to McCaffrey. And I'm going to say I am actually scared because I don't think I have too many McCaffreys, so far in my lineups, that I've made. But I do know he's a great weapon. I mean, he's probably going to be, I don't know if he's going to be low owned. I don't expect his ownership to be super high. But I know he's a great, he's easily floor is always 20 points, man. This dude gets just so many dumps. And I just feel like with the pressure that's going to be coming for Baker, I know at the end of the day, he just wants to win the game. And he just wants to beat this team so bad. Yes, he wants to be able to throw deep down the field to all these, weapons that he has in Robbie Anderson's and stuff like that. Terrace Marshall and stuff like that. But they just also picked up, where is he at? Did I pass him already? They haven't moved it over here yet? Because it should be Chenault. But I don't know why he must be still on the depth chart for the am I missing him? No, I'm not missing him. Yeah, he must. Oh no, my bad. I was missing him. My bad, y'all. Chenault. Yeah. So yeah, Chenault is going to be coming in and out, replacing TJ Marshall or whatever. if Marshall doesn't prove himself at all, because he definitely didn't do nothing last year. I don't really know what he does good, to tell you the truth. So, but the best people to probably go with, like I said, in this game will be McCaffrey. And I believe who's the next person that's the best option for him? It's going to be, it's Anderson. It's actually Anderson, y'all. So if he can hit Anderson on a deep, route, something like that, if he gets the time in the pocket and Garrett is not coming for him, and getting the pressure, then he definitely should be able to hit Anderson. I know he got DJ Moore coming across the middle. If he dumps it off a lot of times to DJ Moore, he definitely have a good game too as well. At tight end, they really don't have a tight end. I mean, maybe, there's some chemistry built with Trimble for Baker since he's their new quarterback. Who knows? But it's not really one of the best options in this games. Like I said, from my notes, it's saying McCaffrey and Anderson, and as well as a wide receiver 3, which, I mean, you just don't know which one it is, which sucks in that scenario. On the other side of this game, though, we have Brissett. Best options here is definitely going to have to just be Chubb, even though they was pretty good against the run. It's kind of the same thing, though, really. Like, you can kind of dump on, if you want to dump a whole bunch of targets to Hunt, then maybe he can do well. But also the best run back really is probably Amari Cooper, really. Because of the fact that he can move around. He's a good route running receiver. Potential 12 to 15 targets, like real talk. Like 12 to 15 targets. If they get on the field multiple, times in this game, Amari Cooper can definitely get you 12 to 15 targets. And actually, his matchup, if he lines up in the slot at all, is a really good matchup for him. And I really feel like he's probably going to be that receiver. All the other receivers on this team, David Bell is actually starting in the slot. If you want to take a shot at him, you can. But I just don't know much about him. I believe he's a rookie anyway. But Amari Cooper is actually a proven receiver. Is going to have the most, the volume of targets and everything to succeed. Njoku, not really supposed to do that well in this game, but if he's definitely the number 2 receiving option and he gets 10 targets, yeah, he can do well for you then for 3,900. So we're going to keep it moving. Green Bay. So everybody knows here that Green Bay is my team, but man, we don't got it all together yet. And so it sucks to me though, because Rodgers could go off in this game. Just going to be real with y'all, because last year, fantasy wise, number 1 fantasy team that gave up to receivers was the Vikings. And not much has changed when it comes to their cornerbacks. Yes, a lot of health issues with are back now on the field for them, with safeties, linebackers that were in there like Daniel Hunter. All those people are up there. They also took one of our cornerbacks from the slot in Chandon Sullivan. And also they have on they also took our pass rusher in Zadarius Smith, who says he can't wait to play us, these 2 games this year. So I do expect him to try to create pressure, but Rodgers should have his whole full line there with Bakhtiari being back and Elton Jenkins. So I do expect Rodgers to get time in the pocket. The only thing is the weapons, man. The weapons. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon is probably going to be the go-to people that he's going to in this game just because of the chemistry. When it comes to the pass catching, Aaron Jones is probably the best pass catching back for him. In that situation, they usually don't do too many dumps to AJ Dillon that much in the game. He'll get more rushing goal line attempts and things like that. But Aaron Jones will probably actually be the number 1 receiver in my eyes, if I'm telling you the truth. And he actually has a good matchup here, because they did give up like pass catching backs for the Minnesota Vikings, and it should be almost really every receiver for Rodgers could do decent here. Maybe, every receiver. All the cornerbacks are not really that great. Like I said, they will have over-the-top safety help, I'm sure. But what sucks is that for, Rodgers' side, I've been studying. I know who's actually starting. Is Lazard is going to start at number 1 receiver. At slot is going to be Cobb. And at number 3 will be Sammy Watkins. So the type of receiver that I know Rodgers more is, like to throw to is more like a Sammy Watkins receiver. So if I had to take any shot, it would be with Sammy Watkins, because I do know Rodgers should be able to like really do very well in this game, man. If he's getting the time in the pocket, he can definitely, take shots like in this game. And if Sammy Watkins is in, if they do put in Christian Watson, because he's supposed to, I think, back up Lazard. So Lazard being questionable, if somehow Lazard cannot go for this game, then I will definitely be looking to stack a Christian Watkins with Sammy Watkins. I know we also have Romeo Doubs, who's going to be subbing in for Sammy Watkins here. That's who he comes in for. And he can definitely also take a deep shot to Romeo Doubs in this game. Like I said, it really sucks to just not know who's going to be the established, options for Rodgers. But if you want to take a shot with any of those receivers that I just gave you, rather other than Cobb should do decent, but I mean, he doesn't, he just doesn't have the skill set that he used to have, the speed and stuff like that he used to have in his prime and things like that. At tight end though, Robert Tonyan could have had a decent game. Could have actually had a decent game. I'm just don't know yet for sure if he's going to play. I really feel like he's going to be a go-to target for Rodgers since he has chemistry with him. So if he is ready to go, I would plug him in too, as well as some of those receiver options, like I said, in Sammy Watkins or something like that. We're running it back on the other side of this game. Kirk Cousins, oh man, he definitely has a multitude of weapons by far. Best weapons though in this game for him will be Dalvin Cook if he's dumping it off to Dalvin Cook in this game. But it sucks because they did say that they want to be a passing team and they're not making it sound like they want to kind of go to Dalvin Cook too much. But this is one of the elite red zone running backs, and so if he does get the touches in the passing game and he does still get, the goal line rushing attempts, he could still have a decent game in this game. I do know the Packers are pretty good against the run though. So like I said, but pass catching, if they dump it out to him for a screenplay, he probably could be gone, like for real. Also though, I don't really like Jefferson. Like I'm just not being biased or anything because I love Jefferson like as a receiver. He's a really good receiver. It's just that I know the matchup that he's going to have in this game. And Jair is no joke. Like, we didn't have Jair the first time we played him. So he was able to go off against our rookie, Eric Stokes, which, Eric Stokes is a good cornerback, but he did get beat on like one big catch, against Jefferson. And that was his first time like really being out there against that good of a receiver. But now I think, Eric Stokes, you talking about, we have like one of the fastest defenses, and what I want to say, the 7 of them on that field out of 11 is all first round picks. It's just a tough defense, man. Like, he's going to be double covered most of the game. And you got one of the best cornerbacks in the league, one of the fastest cornerbacks in the league sticking you. Can route, what used to go against Devonte Adams every day at practice. So kind of knows all the tricks and stuff like that with route runs. But I expect Jefferson to still be able to, he could, a high fantasy game in this game for him, to me, is going to be about 18 to 20 fantasy, really. So for this price, I don't think it's worth it. The actual best receiver to take is Thielen by far, because I know KJ Osborne is going to play in the slot, but Thielen actually moves in or out into the slot for them. And I think since the Minnesota Vikings took over the Rams coach, they're going to play like the Rams. And I do feel like Thielen's going to probably play more of the Cooper Kupp role, where they're going to try to find as many ways, especially they're going to do it for Jefferson too all the time, but it's just this matchup is not good for him. It would be better to just go ahead and get your number 2 receiver who's almost just as good as Jefferson, really, when it comes to production. They both had 10 touchdowns last season. He just got hurt and he was out. Who knows? He could have been right there with Jefferson if he wasn't hurt about 4 games. So Thielen usually always kills us. I just can definitely see Thielen just getting a 25 to 28 fantasy point game in this game. KJ Osborne is definitely in play too because he is going to play in the slot, but they are going against Rasul Douglas in the slot, and he's like 6'2". I just think Thielen is a better route runner and probably can expose that maybe a little bit, even though all our cornerbacks are really good. So it's going to be just a tough matchup on this side. The best actually matchup is Irv Smith. He has the best matchup in this game. Packers weren't really good against a tight end, but a lot of people just didn't go to their tight end enough to get the fantasy points against us. They was just too busy trying to attack the passing game, and it worked, in certain games because we did not, like I said, we didn't have Jair and stuff like that all there to stick these great receivers that we was going against. So I just feel like it's a tough game because Kirk Cousins, the biggest weakness on the Vikings is actually the line. He doesn't get the protection. He gets sacked a lot. If you go back and look at the first game last season against the Bengals, he was getting sacked the whole first quarter ridiculously. And I don't even think the Bengals have the type of line that the Packers have. So I just could see him being in a tough game. He's going to have to get the ball out real quick. So I could see a Dalvin Cook and a Thielen or even KJ Osborne a little bit maybe. But Thielen gets usually more targets and more volume. So I would say Thielen. And then also Irv Smith is a good stack to run with him. Let's go to the other game here. We actually getting through this, man. Like 3 more games left. Let's get through it. So we got Tennessee Titans versus the Giants. Tannehill, can do well in this game because the Giants actually aren't really good against the pass. If he wants to pass the ball, the only thing is their offensive scheme is always running through Henry, and it kind of sucks just when I look at games where I know Henry can succeed. it makes me not want to take Tannehill really, so because I know that's their offensive scheme. It's the same thing kind of like with the coach, like when I know the offensive scheme is going to be that Jonathan Taylor can go off, then I'm not going to want that quarterback. You know what I mean? So as simple as that. But, off of the play action, he can definitely hit, a big play to, it's going to be Woods and Burks. Burks is going to play in the slot for this team. Westbrook is going to play out wide as number 3 receiver. Not really a great receiver. It's probably not going to get a lot of volume. I would expect Woods and Burks to be more a part of the volume. Woods would probably overshadow Burks, with probably like 8 targets. They don't really throw a lot here. So I say like 8 to 10 targets Woods, 7 to 5 targets for Burks. But they both are in a good matchup here. So if you was to actually do a stack, if you just want to just do a running back receiver stack, you can definitely take one of these 2 receivers and it should work out. On the other side of the game, because tight end, like I said real quick, tight end for Tennessee, Austin Hooper it's not the best matchup for him, but I mean he could get a goal line touchdown or something like that. The only thing I hate about taking the tight ends, stacking them with like the quarterback is because they actually do those plays where they actually hand it off from the goal line to Henry and then he throws it to the tight end. So like then you miss out on a touchdown with Tanner. Like I said, them running teams, when the run is supposed to work, it's hard to really take the quarterback with them. So let's look at the other side of this game though. Daniel Jones is actually, it's funny because the Tennessee Titans cornerbacks aren't really that good. It's actually a few, receivers that could do good in this game. If you are a Daniel Jones fan and wanted to know who those people are, then here we go. We got Golladay. If he can actually finally connect with Golladay. He did not show any of that in the preseason, which sucks. Like he's been there for a whole season already. You should have some type of chemistry. But he didn't show that. Doesn't mean that he can't excel in this game because, like I said, if you do, the thing is about Tennessee though, when they're able to play their game, they slow down, your opportunities to get on the field and for a good fantasy to be, got, from that game, from the other side. So like, even though the cornerbacks do suck over here for the Tennessee, you don't usually get to expose them unless you're a team that plays fast and you can play at your pace. If you can control the pace and play your style of game and your offensive scheme is going to work, then you can have a great fantasy day against them with your receiving options, like I said. So it should be Shepard and it should be Golladay. But I don't know for sure whose offensive scheme is really going to end up working in this game. But I feel like since the whole defense on the Giants side isn't really that good, I feel like offensive scheme is going to probably benefit more the Titans, and Henry should have a good day. And I just don't know, like I said, but the receivers that you could run back could be Shepard, could be Golladay. I would say Shepard over Golladay to me. Just because I know he had a chemistry with him at tight end. They don't really have a tight end no more. They lost all their tight ends that were really good. Evan Ingram. They had Rudolph, I believe, last year, but he's all gone. All those players are gone now. So it does streamline all the targets to these receivers. But like I said, if they can't control the offensive scheme and pace of the game, then it's probably not a good day for them. So we'll keep it moving here. Oh, my bad, though. My bad. I do feel like, though, Barkley is in play, too. My bad. I wasn't meant to say that. Barkley is definitely in play here because I do kind of feel like I said, the control of the game and the offensive scheme of this game and the winning the game by like 10 points or something like that, being up by 10, I feel like it will be the Titans. I feel like they will be down big. So it makes me think that Saquon can have a lot of dumps, against this team. And I feel like that should work a lot for him. And he could get a possible 20 fantasy points and maybe a garbage touchdown or something like that. And that's what gets him over the hump. So we'll keep it moving to the last 2 games here. And we have the Raiders versus the Chargers. Oh, man, this is a great game. So on the Charger side, Herbert can actually destroy the Raiders in this game by far. He has a passing option in his running back that he can throw to, and he can have a great game too. You know what I mean? And also we have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer. Mike Williams and Joshua Palmer to me are probably in the best matchup in this game. I know Keenan Allen is at the top here, cost the most and stuff like that, but actually Mike Williams and Joshua Palmer can probably, go off, like both of them. Like serious, like they just in such a great matchup when it comes to the cornerbacks that are lined up against them. And Joshua Palmer can get there and just maybe four targets, that he actually catches, you know what I mean? Like, and get a deep touchdown on them. And then he already got you about 15, 18 fantasy. Mike Williams, I can definitely see him getting about 28, 30 fantasy points in this game if he just gets the targets. Like if his targets is over 10 to 10, touches or something like that in this game, I do feel like Keenan Allen will probably be near close to right there with him because this should be a fast-paced game. They should be able to get out on the field multiple times And being that also, I do feel that the Vegas Raiders will score on them to keep them, pressure to keep scoring back against them. I definitely feel like, though, Mike Williams, they're in the best matchup with Palmer. First, also, Mike Williams is their number one target in the red zone that they like to go to first. So that's another reason why I feel like he's the first person, in the elite target. And then after that, though, it would be Keenan Allen when it comes to actual red zone targets. So if you want to take Keenan Allen still, you can. At tight end, also, Gerald Everett is in a good position here. If he gets you a goal line touchdown in this game, since they could score about 4 to 5 times in this game against the Raiders, really. The defense on the Raiders is not good. And if their pace is that what the pace they're going to play at is the Chargers pace, the Raiders might have a hard time, keeping up. Even though we go to the other side here, we got Derek Carr. He's in a good game too as well. Derek Carr started. I think people sleep on Derek Carr a little bit. And he's actually, for his price, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks too as well on this slate too. I know I didn't mention him on my top 5, but he actually is in a good spot here. Especially now though. Like, the only reason why I forgot, that was the only reason why I did not mention him. I was waiting on the news for J.C. Jackson. And now it's looking at he's not going to play. So now that J.C. Jackson is not going to play, Carr, man, he should probably have slid into my top 5. But he came out of it, probably number 6 then on that list then, like I'm saying. You look at these numbers, Carr was nearly throwing 400 yards the first 3 games, y'all. It's crazy. The only thing about him, 28, 27, 25, good fantasy points too by far. The only thing is these 2 touchdowns. Crazy, man. Like, he's a 2 touchdown quarterback, and I get it. At the beginning of the season, he had Waller, then Waller's probably gone about right here or something like that. And it affected him a lot. He didn't have, elite, is what I call it, elite red zone options. Now, though, he literally has added a red zone option, and also he developed a red zone option in what I say, Hunter Renfrow last season, So now he has probably, man, in the whole slate, really, because, there's certain teams not on this slate, he has one of the most elite red zone option teams, man, like, for real. Like, you looking at Josh Jacobs, I think people really sleep on him. He can definitely have a good game in this game. He is one of the elite red zone rushing running backs in the league. Like, I looked over the years for like the last 4 seasons. He's up there in the top every year, man. Like, so definitely has that in play to either run the ball or even dump it. And I feel like they're going to play like that Patriots type system. I don't know if he or Zamir White will take a James White role, So, but they both, I think, will have equal opportunity at the beginning. And if Jacobs really takes over that, pass catching option role, he's going to play way better as long as he can stay healthy, especially in this game, though, because he definitely can go off in this game. As well as, like I'm saying, on the other side of this game, Devonte Adams is in play for a career fantasy game. Like, serious, a career fantasy game, day, everything. Because now that J.C. Jackson is not playing and lined up, he already was going to have a pretty decent matchup if he moved to the other side of the field and matched up with the other out wide cornerback over there. He was already going to have a good matchup there. But now that both sides is going to be out there for him to just use, oh my God, like, he can just kill those cornerbacks. And being that he is the most elite option for the red zone in this game, I think for period, both sides really. I mean, he's led the league, just a year ago in touchdowns, period, as a receiver. And so you telling me Carr now has another weapon. Like I said, he developed a weapon in Renfrow last year. And also he has Waller here. And the Chargers were one of the worst teams against the tight end. He just has too many red zone weapons. Like, he's definitely a great quarterback. And all those stacking options there, like I said, besides the third receiver, I would not really be taking him with one of his third receivers in Hollins or something like that. I would not be taking him with that. But Devonte Adams, Renfrow, Waller, and even Jacobs is all in play to go with him. So, got through that side, that game and everything. For y'all, let's get to the last game on the slate. So, in this game, I know people have been waiting to hear about this game because I heard a lot of people having a hard time figuring out who to stack with Pat Mahomes. And so, like I said, this is the video you want to watch, man, because I'm giving you all the detailed information. CEH is not really a great play to me at all to me in this game. I feel like the Cardinals usually do pretty good against running backs. You would probably have to pass catch to your running back, and Kansas City doesn't really do that a lot. So I would kind of stay away from CEH or even Darrell Williams. I know he's going to a revenge game against his old team, but they don't even think he's going to be a pass catching back for them. They probably will still be rolling with McKinnon. Yeah, he did had pretty good success in the playoffs. So definitely would think he'd probably be more of a pass catching back. At receiver though, the cornerbacks aren't good anymore on Arizona. To be real with y'all, like a lot of people I'm sure don't even know that. Like I'm pretty sure y'all still thinking of Arizona as last year and how good of a team they was. On defensively, like yeah, they still have Buda Baker, but they don't have Chandler Jones, as y'all know, went to the Raiders, and now they only have J.J. Watt rushing the quarterback, so you probably will get more time because you'll probably just double him, even though I know he's hard to block, but still, if you double him, at least slowing him down. So it gives you more time in the pocket. Kansas City plays so fast. The worst matchup, I think, is actually Juju has the hardest matchup in this game, as besides Kelsey. So if you're taking Kelsey and Pat Mahomes, I just want you to know, beware that he has one of the hardest matchups. He's going to go against Buda Baker. He's going to be double covered with a linebacker. And really, you should be attacking out wide with the receivers out wide. Juju is still in play, though, because he definitely could be a safety valve option and things like that. Third downs, touchdowns, maybe too as well. And, they like to run those little pitch to the receiver. I feel like he'd probably be that receiver that gets those. So definitely Juju is still a good option. But MVS and Hardman are really the better options. Sky Moore, if we knew he was going to be, be in the game a lot more than maybe MVS or something like that. If we come to figure that out, he could be a good option as well. But attacking the out wide cornerbacks in this game is going to be where the stacking options should go with Pat Mahomes on this game by far. Like they should get a lot of opportunities. This game is going to be very, very fast paced. So I definitely see Pat Mahomes, like I said, MVS if you want to take him with him, or Hardman. Yeah, you can still take Juju. The worst option by far is Kelsey. I know that is Kelsey and he is, unguardable and stuff like that, but he probably will be double covered the whole game. And I just want y'all to know he might not be worth 6,600. That's all. That's all I want to say, but like I said, it is still Kelsey. So if you want to still take him, go ahead. Murray on the other hand, okay, has lower amount of targets, weapons out here on the field because of the fact that Hopkins is out this game. They will be starting Rondale Moore in the slot, and as well as then you got Marquis Brown out wide and AJ Green out wide. They was trying so hard last year to throw a lot of goal line touches to AJ Green. So maybe if the chemistry has developed better, maybe he hits on that. But by far, Marquis Brown is supposed to have the best game in this scenario, this game, in this offensive scheme, as well as James Conner. If he gets some dumps, he also gets goal line rushes. He's an elite red zone player in this game for real. So this is probably going to be their red zone go-to person in this game. Might get 2 rushing touchdowns, might catch 1 too as well, and get 1 rushing touchdown and catch 1. Definitely one of their elite players. Like I said, Marquise Brown is also a great option to go with Kyler Murray, as well as I even think Rondale Moore could do pretty well since he's going to finally get his first opportunity to start, play a whole game in the slot, and prove himself. The coaches put so much pressure on him to show him that he's so short, so he always like clowns him and everything and says, you really can go against bigger cornerbacks and get open, and he's like, I'll show you. So I really feel like he's going to be out there trying to prove it. But the next best option by far is Ertz if he's really ready to go. If he's not ready to go, then I believe McBride is their tight end that they drafted. Could be a really good option if we hear Ertz is just out. 2,900. I mean, he's going to probably get like a surprising 8 to 5 targets, really, just because of the fact they don't have Hopkins. I don't see a lot of targets going to Rondale Moore. But I do see a lot of targets going to Marquise Brown. But if I had to think, the second best option would be out of their running back and James Conner, or taking the tight end. Like I said, Ertz will be in a great spot. So I think we are done. Oh my God, we got through that. I hope y'all made it to the end, man. I'm sure all that info I just gave was very valuable. Different than most, other sites, I'm sure, because I'm not just going through, I don't have a actual site or anything, or optimizer and things like that telling me who's supposed to do good. I actually go through defense and really look at where you can attack a defense and where is the most fantasy points going to be given up. And I'm sure that's really going to be able to help y'all this season, man. Y'all come over here and listen to my videos. Y'all are going to succeed. Like I said, I want all of us to win. Let's get in the green. Let's win some big money. It's week 1, baby, NFL. Your boy Jaystar. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Be back. The next video y'all probably see will be the showdown for Sunday night. But I'm out, y'all. Peace.